This is okay. Welcome everyone. We have now gotten a good grasp of what you like in terms of, you know, emojis and stuff. Tons of different emojis that you all like. A lot of unique ones. Monkeys and bread and moons and red buttons and yeah, tons of random ones. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to learn how to learn effectively and manage our times and get stuff done, reach our goals and achieve anything in life. This is the foundation of well, anything you want really. You need to learn things throughout your life, and you're at a early stage, so you might as well start here. So the problem is you guys have and will probably in the future spend hours upon hours studying for exams. So what if I told you you could spend only 1 hour and get 8 hours of work done, like 8 hours of your old self? Wouldn't that be amazing? Imagine how much time you can spend on doing like fun things or other things, like with friends or play games or those type of things, or just learn more, right? So you can accelerate and exceed all of your peers and you know get the career you want. Um, So this is an opportunity, and the reason for this is you probably have ineffective study habits. Now, what is it that I'm going to teach you how to do? Well, using these techniques, you can learn 550 digits under 5 minutes. Well, if you practice quite a lot, but it's the same type of memory techniques that build out that these memory masters who are competing in remembering things quickly, same techniques that they use. So right now, I want you all to remember as many as you can in 30 seconds. I'm going to make it tougher for you guys. Okay, so starting now. Don't write down, that's cheating. Just look at the images. And yeah, it's not a competition. It's just for yourself. Okay, so that's time's up. We will now go on. So, what you will need right now is a pen and a notebook or like, something to write on. It can be a calendar as well and a timer. So, yeah, I'll give you like a minute or so to get that for yourself. And in the meantime, I'm gonna gather these emails. So right now I only have five five people. Five people have given me their emails. So I assume the rest of you were able to find the surveys after searching through it a bit more in detail. If not, you have to send me your email. Okay, got one more now. Great. Okay, one more. Few more. But remember that you have to use the same email as the one that you used for the confirmation form. That's the key. Okay, so we got a few. Um, so now, okay, Well, the items was just for you to remember as an exercise. We'll loop back to it later. I mean, you're gonna see why I asked you to try to remember these things. Now, we're gonna talk about flow. So flow is the most important concept that you can learn about when it comes to productivity and getting things done. Flow is a state of total immersion and focus, where you're using your abilities to the fullest extent. Now, how do you get into flow? Here are the 6 things. You do something you care about, you commit to a plan beforehand, you work on a specific task to be completed during the work session. And there's just about the right amount of challenge, like not too hard, not too easy, just like you feel a bit challenged. It's a bit tough, but you can do it. You also need ample of time. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get into flow in 30 minutes. No, no, no. You need give yourself 2 hour block and then fully work on this thing for those 2 hours and be free of interruptions. This means you throw away your phone, you put it in a different room, you turn it off, maybe. Well, it doesn't work if you're working on your phone, of course. But if you're working on your phone, what you might need to do is you have to go into your settings and you need to turn off all the notifications. Usually all phones nowadays, they have something called a focus mode. So you go to the focus mode and you press that, you set work mode, okay? So you don't get any type of like bumps or things coming up and ruining your concentration. Okay, so that's that. Now we have an exercise here. So in your little calendar, you should create blocks. Each block should be one specific task, one thing that your goal is to finish within this block. And we have helped you a little bit with our calendar. As you know, there's a schedule for the course, but you are free to kind of design this as you wish. Now, the second thing I want you to do is to identify the obstacles, like the things that you know, because usually you do know, the things you know will come up and interrupt you. And not just do that, but also make a plan as to how you're going to deal with that. So you don't get distracted, you don't lose lose your focus. And the last thing I want you to do is make a sort of contingent plan. So this means if X happens, and that's the interruption, if mom comes in and knocks on my door and says, "Ah, you need to help me do some stuff," then I will do Y. Then I will say, "Well, mom, I'm being very, very focused right now. I need to work hard on this. Can I do it after my time block?" You can say that. You prepare that because you know they're gonna come. Or maybe you have siblings who are disturbing you. They're being super loud. Then you can try to say, you know, say something that will make them more quiet. Maybe you bribe them. You say, "Hey, okay, well, if you're quiet now, I will do this thing for you." Okay, so I'll give you like just 2 minutes to think about this. Um, make your calendar and block out. So that this means not just your day, but your entire week. You should block it out and say that here I'm doing this thing and I'm only doing this thing. You can even block out time for your free activities, like watching a movie. I will only watch a movie during this time. Okay, so one person is down, so I'm just gonna continue then. From the 10 items before, how many do you remember? So everyone, write in the chat if you want. It's only for yourself, just as an illustrative point here. How many of these 10 items do you actually remember? Ooh, is anyone brave enough to admit? Ice cube. Well, you don't need to spell it out. Just write the number. You don't all have to do it. Just some is fine. Okay, you think you remember 7? Oh, tunnel. Wow. Some are really good. Very impressive if you were able to remember more than half, I guess. But don't be don't make up a number. This is only for yourself. But if you did remember everything, good for you. The point is, here are the answers. So maybe you were wrong when you said you remembered it all. So it's a basket, a bed, a book, a pen, a chest, ice cube, snowman, ice cream, hand and foot. It's quite normal items, so maybe it's easier to remember. Now, I'm going to tell you about the technique that memory masters use, and this is how they're able to memorize immense, like incredible amounts of like items. So, as you remember, if you're going to memorize 550 digits in a particular order in 5 minutes, that means you need to do 110 in a minute. That means you have to memorize one item or like one thing in half a second, approximately. I gave you guys 30 seconds. So for 10 items, right? So they're what, like how many times? Many times more efficient than you are. Um so how does the brain remember stuff? Well, by connecting synapses. These are the things in your brain, and they become stronger and stronger if you use them more. Now, the way you get your brain to enjoy making these connections is by tying them to things that you already know and enjoy. So you have to tie them together, these random items, and you have to create a story. Typically, these memory masters, they use something called memory castles or memory palaces, they call them even. And these are mental buildings. They're like rooms. And in these rooms, they place items. But they don't just place them randomly. They place them in a way that makes it more funny to remember. So for example, uh, I might say that once upon a time there was a door and a lamp. They were sitting on a sofa, watching TV, when all of a sudden the phone rang and the fridge was super angry because he had bought a painting that was not working. So the lamp took the key and the iron and then went to the axe who had sold the fridge, and then gave him this diploma. Okay, so I want you to create a random story now. It could be anything, and then try to just so in order to remember these. So I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, awesome. The crazier the better is the key here. So now we'll go to the next technique. This technique is called active recalling, and it's one of the most effective learning techniques. What does this mean? This means you quiz yourself. You just explain a concept in your own words without looking at the book or the answer. You're like, oh yeah, what did Simon teach us today? Well, he first talked about flow, and then flow has these 6 things. that, builds the 6 components of flow. Now, what is spaced repetition? Well, spaced repetition means that you repeat this recalling every 1, 3, 7, 14, 28 days. The spacing is there are different amounts of time that you can do this spaced repetition. But the key thing is that your brain forgets very quickly. So within the first 5 hours, you're going to probably forget maybe 70%. So you need to, within a day, you need to do active recall and you need to think, okay, what was it that I was taught yesterday? And then you need to actually think about it and be like, oh shit, I don't remember. Well, look up the book again. Oh, what is the answer? Oh, here are the things. And then you do that after day one, and then you do it after 2 days. You go back to the things you learned on the first day and do the same. This is called spaced repetition. So now we're back again. Um, how many crazy story items do you remember? Does anyone wanna try to list them out? Well, you don't have to list them out, but you could just say the number again. See how many you remember using this technique. At least how many you think you remember. Let me see how many I remember. Uh, yeah, I think I remember 10. I feel like I know it should be 11, actually. So those of you who think that they remember everything, probably wrong. There's one thing missing. Um, let's see what the answers are. So for me, my story was the door and the lamp was sitting on the sofa and watching TV as the phone rang from the fridge, who was complaining that the painting was broken. And so the lamp and door, they took a key, they took an iron, and they went to the axe who'd sold this fridge and gave him a diploma, which is weird. I don't know why you would give a diploma to someone who sold a bad fridge, but it worked. So I think I forgot the phone. The phone was ringing, but I remember the story, but I didn't remember that one. I wasn't paying attention. Anyways, so this is just an example of how you would apply this. And so when you learn these Python concepts, try to come up with a random story, as random as you can, like with a list. Okay, what is a list? What is an algorithm, or what are these data types? Maybe in Python, for example, you need to finish, you need to have parentheses to indicate a function or something, or the equal sign is means that the stuff on the left hand side is defined by what's on the right hand side, and so on. So this is what I want you to take away here. Create your own stories. Now, what I'll do, okay, I think we're gonna skip, or actually, let me see if I can. Yeah, so instead of doing, if you're on your phone, and if you're able, or computer actually, then it might be easier for you to do this. Um, you would go to this Anki app here. And you can go on it on the web. So we can do that. And you sign up. Okay. So let's see here, sign up. And we just go through here. You're studying something similar to engineering, so let's do that. And then we go to, wait, how do you go next? Right. So Anki's cards help you set this up. So as you can see here, there are different apps, and then after a while, Anki will prompt you to try to remember these things again. So you can create your own decks of cards, or you can use existing ones that other people have created. You can review, open a deck and press review to do these spaced repetition reviews. And you can test your knowledge by pressing the cards. You can flip it to see what's on the back. So you have a front side and a back side. If you got it wrong, you press fail. If you got it right, but you weren't sure, you say hard. And then, you have these different levels of understanding or recollection. If you have different devices and you have your phone and your app, then you can sync all of these things. So let's start. So for today, I want you to create a deck like this, and it should be learning memory techniques. So we can call it or like learning technique. Okay, no description. Well, you can say DirectEd here, description. And maybe I want to have a folder. We can have like productivity, like this. Okay, so I have a folder now, and there are different types, right? Different types. So I will do we do a simple. And the key here is you don't want to put in too much information in these things, like in each card. So if you create a card, I will say in the front here on the first one, I will write state of immersion. So that's flow. Okay. And productivity. This is called product. This is called flow. Okay, awesome. And then we have created a new card, so we'll probably save this. Oh no, wait. No, yeah, so we created one card here. We will create another one somewhere, if I can find the new button. I guess, no, that's not new. Uh, Maybe it's here. Oh yes, here in the corner, new card. So I will do a second one. First part of um first part of getting into flow. Maybe it's not the first part, but like actually how to get into flow. And then we can separate it into things that you can control. So for example, give time. Another thing was no interruption. Well, that's actually outside of your control, kind of. What else? Does anyone remember? I don't remember. Let's see here. Give time, no interruption. Oh, challenging. Like uh, just right challenge. Okay. So here, like some parts of this, and then we can do another one. And I'll cheat a little bit. I'll go back to the slides. So let's see what it says here. Oh, where is it? Oh, yes. Oh, you should do something you care about. Yeah, yeah, that's true. How to get into flow outside your control. So that's more like no interruptions. Something care care about. Just say that. Um, Well, okay. So this would be like two good ones. And then we'll change the previous one. In your control, we're gonna have just about right challenge, and we're gonna say specific. I'm just gonna make it shorter. No interruption, just right challenge, specific task, and commit beforehand. Great. Now, I'm not using the memory technique like super well here. So ideally, what you should do here is you should come up with a story. So instead of saying time, no interruption, just right challenge, you should come up with a story of how to like connect these concepts. So maybe there's a guy, his name is Adam. Adam, he's sits in a room and like you can picture and then he's doing he's like n- he's got headphones and he's working on this plan on working on building a house of cards. So he's gonna do that for 2 full hours. He's put up a sign outside the door that says no interruption. Okay. Um, so we're gonna do this. Adam sits the night before and plans his next morning. 2 hours with a sign on his door, working only on building a house of cards with 3 floors. That's all he's gonna do for 2 hours. Um, so he cares about it. Okay, so Adam is a like a card master. The card master. No, he's a poker player. Poker player because poker player likes cards. So he cares about this. He plans this, like the image that we're seeing now. He's sitting in his room the night before, so he's not doing it. He's planning to do it tomorrow. It's a very specific task. It's like build a house of cards with 3 floors. And it's just about right challenging, right? It's not easy, but anyone can do it if they give a nut challenge. And 2 hours, that's a good amount. And free of interruption. So he's put up this sign on his door saying, uh, don't disturb me. Or like the whichever room he's in. Maybe he doesn't have his own room. So now instead of writing these concepts, I've actually spelled out, like I've made a story for myself. So we don't need to actually call him Adam. We can just say the poker player. The poker player sits the night before and plans his next morning. So you can just remember this image instead, like a film. Um, and then because you've done that, it will be much easier to remember this concept. Like remember all of these six components that we talked about. Okay, so I'm just going to pause a little bit and answer a question. Kahara asks, can we have physical flashcards? Yes, you can, but the problem with the physical ones is that they're not going to um, prompt you automatically to review them. So if you have physical cards, then you need to yourself um, No recording, unfortunately. I'm recording, so I'll send you the video later. But if you do this physical cards, then you need to keep track yourself. Oh, I already know this concept. Then you need to have a system where you basically you have a bunch of cards that you know you have different boxes. So you have like a box of cards that you are unfamiliar with, cards that you are very familiar with, and cards you are like in between. So the ones you're very familiar with, then you can put them in the box that's like review uh, uh, on the last week of January. So you might have four boxes, one for each week in a month. So if for example you realize, oh, I didn't know this concept very well, then you put this in the box for next week's review. If you knew something very, very well, then you can put it in the box for things that you will review in the last week of the month. So that's a simple way of achieving the same type of thing. If you want to do more often, like reviews even more often, you can have a you can have like a box for reviews on the like every, I don't know, let's say every 5 days. Uh, so you can have one for the 5th, one for the 10th, one for the 15th, 20th, 25th, 30th of each month. And then depending on how comfortable you feel with each concept, you can put this physical card in that box. So that's answering that question about physical. So now what I want you guys to do is so together we did this first one, flow, how to remember things, creating a story. I want you guys to make a flashcard for the other two things that we've learned today. So the second thing was crazy connections. By connecting new concepts to things you already know and piecing them into a story, and the crazier, the weirder, the better, and illustrating this in your mind or through drawings, like creating image. I call this crazy connections. I want you to create a flashcards for this. And I also want you to create a flashcard for spaced active recall, uh, which it means repeat things in set intervals, like on day 1, 3, 7, 15, and so on, and then quiz yourself on that. So these two, I want you to make flashcards. And when you're done, I'll give you like 3 minutes. And then when you're done, if you're done early, you can just tell me, and then maybe three. I don't know if three is enough actually, because you need to. But this is the last thing, and then we're done. So I'll give you like 4 minutes or so, and then we'll finish together. Just have some small final thoughts. So I sent the link in the group chat already. Of course, you can do the flashcard. I'll send the link again. So if you're on your phone, there should be ways to download it. If you're a computer, that's great. Then you can do it on the computer. But here you can download App Store, Windows, Mac, Google. I'm actually also gonna download it. I need to learn some stuff, so I'm learning Swahili and Amharic, so that's why to put in this stuff. Habari ya mchana. Oh, and here are the things that I want you to create flashcards for. Okay. No recording, Justin, but I'll send you I'll upload the video so you can watch on YouTube. Okay, one thing I noted now that I downloaded the app is there are something called study groups here. So you can create a study group. So you can have directed intro course, uh, Kagumo. Maybe Kagumo students, you want to have your own, like, study group. Simon S. Just to give you an example. Um, and then you can share these decks. But I do strongly encourage you to make your own personal like deck of cards so that you learn yourself. That's where the most of the value comes from because you have to create your own personal story that you think is fun. Um, Sometimes it's okay to use, work together. It could be fun, it could be motivating. Um, okay, so some of you might not have finished. That's okay. Uh, I just want to leave you with one important thing. There's only one concept that I want to give you when it comes to time management, which really means task prioritization. What should I do? That's what this is answering. The management matrix means that you divide everything that's in your life right now, or like tasks, into this matrix where it's either important and urgent, or urgent but not important, and then important but not urgent. For example, it is important and it is urgent that you study this week because it's urgent because you can only do it this week. Once this week is over, you can't do it anymore. Then there are things that are important but not urgent. For example, I don't know, choosing university. Which university should you go to? You have probably many, many months to choose this, if this is something you need to choose. What about urgent but not important? Well, for example, um, your friend says, "Oh, I really want to go out, and we should go and play music. I like this band. There's this artist that is playing tonight. So this is urgent because it's only tonight, but it's just not that important." And then you have the things that are not urgent and not important. These are things that you probably just don't want to do. These other boxes are things you should focus your time on. But not important, not urgent. I don't know. Maybe it's like uh, buying a cat or something. No, it's people like cats. I couldn't come up with something not important, not urgent. Could be something that's just something that's far away in the future. Is the key, and then it's just not that important. Anyways, number one key to success is ask a lot of questions and Google. Like actually get good at Googling and reading documentation, as you see here on the top left. In our Notion page, we and Google Classroom, we will have a Python cheat sheet. Do use that to the best of your ability. Yeah, Kahara disagrees. Kahara says buying a cat is urgent and important. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. Cats are very nice for your mental health as well. Cats are cool. So with that said, I'm gonna leave you to it. Um, please, right now, right after this session, it's already late, but finish the surveys if you have received them. And for those of you who haven't, I'm gonna email them to you right now in a moment. What I also want you to do is every day from now on, make cards with what you've learned. So before you finish the day, maybe before you get like too tired and you start to feel a bit, tired, just go to the Anki app, make this folder for like programming. So like programming, okay? Um, and then you just have a simple, you can have a different type like this. Um, oh no, new folder should be programming like this, programming. And in here, you might have Python as a subfolder. Okay. So you put it, oh, sorry, wait. Oh, I failed. Programming, and then subfolder Python. Great. Now I will make it like I will call it basic uh Python like this, and I will save it. Basic Python, and I will create a new card. I say um how to print text. Okay, something like this. I don't know. Well, you come up with more fun stories than this, ideally at least. And then like what is you might want to say what is a list? What is a list? What is or like what is a for loop? Like this. And then you can fun story about circles. I'm just making things up here. But you should try to think about all the things you've learned from the day, make cards out of each one of them, and then you go back and you check, oh, was there a new concept or thing that I learned today that I didn't remember? And if so, what was it? And you look at it, and then you create the flashcard out of that. Okay. If you didn't pass, well, okay, so in Ethiopia it's different because you guys have very no, so Simret, if you didn't pass national exam, that's fine. What I am saying is if you did pass the national exam and you did it at a very high grade, then it's easier for you to enter the boot camp. But you can still enter the main boot camp even if you didn't pass the national exam or if you got very bad grades at your national exam. It just means you have to do relatively better in the course. Um, any questions? So I will write this out in the WhatsApp group, like what your homework is right now. Um, oh, and also in the future, don't write to me when you have any type of questions regarding the course. I'm not the person who's in charge, like who's your main point of contact for this. Um, okay. But I'm gonna leave you now. If you have any questions, you can stick around. I'm gonna stop the recording, and you can just ask me here. I'll be around for